With loving greetings from all souls at this station, this is Matthew. How we wish that you could view Earth from our vantage point so you could see that her tumultuous travels are over and she is in calm waters. Most likely calm is not how you would think about your world, but when are all the marvels of the Golden Age coming? Well, maybe. Many civilizations were authorized by God to help Earth reach safe harbor at this point in your linear time, but throughout her ascension process, her residents have been in charge of societal changes. No other civilization may do this on your behalf because Earth is your world and must be the kind of world that you, collectively, want. Lightworkers, including the souls who don't think of themselves as such but indeed they are by living in godly ways, managed nobly during the extremely difficult ascension decades. All of you have the greatest admiration and respect of light beings throughout this universe. And we know how eager you are for the promised glories of the Golden Age to be manifested, so you are distressed because there's little evidence that they are underway. Actually, a great deal is progressing in numerous areas behind the scenes, and even mainstream media are reporting instances that indicate an encouraging upward trend. Still, huge changes will not come as swiftly as you would like. You know that everything is energy vibrating at one frequency or another, and because energy is neutral and has no reasoning capacity, it can't differentiate between what is wanted and what is not. Consequently, as people's thoughts and feelings shoot out into space, the universe provides individuals with circumstances whose energy matches the energy of whatever they have been focusing on, the law of attraction that's in constant motion. But most souls in your world do not know that's how energy and their innate powers of co-creation work. They're concentrating on situations that they don't want to continue, thereby making more of them. Because so many people are sending out the energy of sad, angry and despairing thoughts and feelings about world situations, your society as a whole is affected by the result, the slow pace of change. Another reason that things may seem to be moving at a snail pace also is due to lack of knowledge. Because most people in your world still are confined within third density's limited consciousness, they don't know to ask within, where all truths are known. Without that soul-level knowingness, the consciousness processes information from the ego's perspective, and since the ego supports personal ideas and perceptions, which often are rigidly set, rarely can the ego see a situation from other perspectives or discern between truth and falsehood. We shall give you an example. We and many other messengers in the light have told you the truth about Barack Obama, a highly evolved soul from a civilization far advanced in spirituality, intelligence and ancient wisdom. The highest universal council asked him to leave his homeland and accept the mission of leading the United States and your world into an era of peace, prosperity and unity. We have explained that his mission, which transcends politics worldwide, is a provision of the Golden Age master plan that is aligned with Gaia's vision of Earth's residents living in harmony with each other and with nature. Then Gaia's planetary body and all of its life forms will be in balance, wherein all is light. We have asked you to send light to President Obama because it will hasten the day when that balance is attained. Also we have mentioned in previous messages that the tenacity of the Dark Ones caused about a 10-year delay in your progress as a society. The delay didn't deter Earth's ascension one whit, her timing was predestined, but it severely curtailed Obama's ability to carry out his mission because powerful individuals within the Illuminati still had the power to derail, distort or deter his efforts. A large part of their effectiveness has come from people whose third density perceptions have been sending forth the energy of anti-Obama thoughts and feelings. That energy has been refueling the Dark Ones and enabling them to keep a strong chokehold on the president's endeavors to move your world toward Gaia's vision. It is natural to question why that would include killing, and many feel that Obama's approval of using drones shows that he is not of the light. That perspective omits this essential element. The drone's purpose is to kill as few persons as possible while ending warfare as quickly as possible. Always military forces in Earth's civilizations have operated within the third density mentality that says eliminating the enemy is a patriotic responsibility and you keep at it until you've won. So for millennia both sides in wars annihilated each other, using the most current weaponry. Now that includes drones, which target individuals who are considered the masterminds of terrorism and cause fewer casualties than drawn-out ground battles would. Indeed, it is lamentable that those weapons claim the lives of women, men and children who are not harming anyone. A brutal fact of war is, many civilians are injured and killed along with combat troops. We won't go into the immeasurable psychic damage experienced by all souls in war zones. Be uplifted by knowing that as hearts and minds continue to open, no soul will want to kill another by any means for any purpose. We also cite Hugo Chavez, recently deceased president of Venezuela, whom mainstream media in the United States have portrayed as a bad guy who worked against that country's best interests. What Chavez worked against was the Illuminati's dark influence in that country, his own and other Latin American nations, and he was quite successful in driving them out of Venezuela. Chavez was not wrong in thinking that his cancer did not occur naturally. The media under Illuminati control labeled him a conspiracy theorist because they have conditioned you to believe that anything with that designation is pure nonsense. Chavez's determination to rid his country of their tentacles and to improve the lives of those who are downtrodden did not fit with the Dark One's agenda. They felt that a public assassination could start a firestorm instead of making it easy for them to regain control of Venezuela's abundant natural resources, and since they had the means to initiate cancer, that's what they did. His body just didn't give out nearly as fast as they expected. We know the truth about these two men whom third-density minds perceive at best as controversial figures with political and ideological pro-supporters and con-opponents. But by no means are sides limited to national leaders. It is the very same in all divisive issues that are besieging your world. The right and left of any situation keep generating fuel for each other, heated feelings are intensified and the imbalance of stalemates is prolonged. Consider, governments with a stockpile of nuclear weapons tell other governments, it's okay for us to have these but you can't because we don't trust you. The governments that are told you can't are expected to trust the motives of the governments that do have these weapons? If the most vociferous spokespersons in have-weapon countries would meet with equally intransigent national leaders that want to develop them, they could begin to rationally discuss their unassailable perspectives. Only by doing so can the sides move forward from their respective positions and reach the common-sense conclusion that total nuclear disarmament is the only way to assure that never will those weapons be used. Especially in the United States, gun violence is a hot controversy. The side that wants to ban sales of specific guns and ammunition is as stubbornly rooted in their view as are those who parrot their Second Amendment right to have all the guns and bullets they want. The two sides need to discuss their differing opinions so they can proceed from the shared desire to lessen shooting deaths. Neither of those two issues will be resolved overnight, but there will be a starting point in both that ultimately will result in banning weapons of all kinds. Remember, the world you are still co-creating in linear time already exists in the continuum exactly the way you want it and, as you shall see, your choice is that weapons have no place in Earth's golden age. Abortion is another issue with widely different views and so are capital punishment and dealing with national economies, unemployment and safe sources of energy. Because all of those and many other vital world situations are causing serious unrest does not mean that the Dark Ones still are in charge. Some who defected from the ranks of the Illuminati became lightworkers. Some have died, and those who absorbed enough light during the December solstice to keep their bodies viable either will continue to embrace the light or they will die. However, those who formerly were able to cause widespread havoc have been removed from those positions or their influence is nil. Civil wars still are raging because both sides wholeheartedly believe their cause is just. In some cases, the necessity of avenging assaults on their ancestors was inculcated in the fighters when they were little children. Equally strong feelings undergird the people who are fighting for freedom from tyrannical rulers, who view the fighters as traitors for destabilizing the country. Other individuals are fighting to keep their concept of religion, however twisted, from being overturned by non-believers. Gradually the strident sides in these various situations will be motivated to negotiate and cooperate for mutual benefit. There are greatly differing opinions of how to govern countries that recently gained independence after a long dynastic reign, but again, there is no darkness in the hearts of the citizens. Simply, self-rule, or democracy, is new and the people are striving to find governing methods that can serve everyone's best interests. The most adamant persons on both sides of other issues we've mentioned have no dark intentions either. It is not with malice toward those who disagree with them that the people involved are sticking to their guns, so to speak. Like all other minds operating at third density consciousness, they are ego-bound by their beliefs and want their side to win at all costs. Our beloved Earth family, we are not saying that all souls in your world need to have the very same opinion about everything before turmoil ends. What we are saying is that a willingness to listen and comprehend each other's convictions must precede resolutions to conflicts. And this will come. Earth keeps rising into the successively higher vibrations that are conducive to enlightening exclamation mark what you call human nature. Attitudes on both sides of all issues will change gradually from vehemently contentious to reasonable, setting the stage for the harmonious discourse that will lead to parts of the problem becoming parts of the solution for the good of all. This is why you lightworkers are needed every bit as much now as before. The light you generate simply by being radiates out into the world and touches all other lives. By steadfastly focusing only on what will enhance life in your world, you expand light in the collective consciousness and hasten the manifestation of Golden Age glories. Earth's peoples must let go of the ego's self-centeredness and often mean-spirited perspective and start living from the heart. Love, the most powerful force in the cosmos, is the key to ending the divisiveness, hatred, poverty, ignorance and violence that have kept your world out of balance. Love is the key to peace, abundance, unity of spirit and soul evolvement. It is logical to wonder, Earth has reached fourth density, so how can it be that most of her residents still are in third? There are two types of density, scientifically speaking. One pertains to mass and the location of a mass. Earth is in the low edge of fourth density and will continue ascending until she reaches her destination in fifth. The other density refers to the evolutionary status of a soul, that is, the level of spiritual and conscious awareness attained, and those two aspects can vary considerably. Some civilizations that are far advanced in consciousness, or intelligence level, haven't an iota of spiritual awareness. Earth's population today ranges from third density through seventh in soul evolvement. Dedicated lightworkers are at fourth spiritually, they are steadily on the spiritual pathway, but some are lagging consciously, they still are working on becoming non-judgmental, forgiving self and others for perceived wrongs, and getting past guilt, remorse, possessiveness and other feelings that emit low vibrations. The comparatively few souls in fifth and higher densities are those you call crystal or indigo or are members of other civilizations living with you. Now then, we have spoken about the primary factors that are affecting the pace of change in your world, but there are others, too. For instance, all legal matters must run the normal course of your legal and justice systems, and you don't need us to tell you that those wheels do not turn swiftly. Some legal situations are economically based, and switching from the old systems to the new is intentionally coming about slowly to prevent fear and chaos. This far-reaching process includes not only retrieving the Illuminati's vast stolen fortunes and allocating those monies to the impoverished billions, but also moving to a global economy based on precious metals, instituting banking regulations worldwide, and establishing fairness in trade, tariffs, taxation, wages and salaries. In this economic vein, NESARA, the acronym for National Economic Security and Reformation Act, is well known in some circles but not necessarily well understood, and no wonder. The U.S. government's website, where NESARA is given the name National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act, is total disinformation, and channeled messages from dark entities that claim to be respected messengers of the light also contain falsehoods. Misunderstandings include the notion that the act is the entirety of NESARA. How wrong that is. NESARA is no less than world transformation and spiritual renewal. It is the master plan for our Earth's golden age. Also, there are various interpretations of some terminology in messages from light sources, such as prosperity packages or similar references to the economic aspects of NESARA. Misinterpretations include a large amount of money given directly to every person on the planet, huge sums given to some individuals for funding specific projects, and everyone's debts wiped out in one fell swoop. Part of NESARA does pertain to eradicating usurious interest rates, reducing some loans and eliminating others, in particular, IMF loans, and removing large bank accounts from the Illuminati's hold order. But the economic thrust of the act is ending the unconscionable disparity between the haves and have-nots in your world. That imbalance will be rectified as the Illuminati's illegally amassed fortunes are used to relieve the plight of impoverished peoples as rapidly as possible and put them on firm footing henceforth. The provision of NESARA that calls for the resignation of the entire U.S. government no longer applies. The act was written more than a dozen years ago when the president was a top-ranking Illuminati. He is among the defectors who became active lightworkers, and almost everyone in Congress was either a member or under the control of Illuminati outside the government. Rejoice with us that this is not the case today. Mother, for readers who want to know more about NESARA, perhaps why this transformative worldwide plan began as a United States law, please add the date of the message with comprehensive information. August 13, 2006, Special NESARA Edition. Thank you. We repeat our many assurances that whatever adversely affects life in your world will cease incrementally. This includes slave labor and oppression of women, unjust laws, policies, regulations and cruel cultural customs, all forms of pollution, from industrial sources, chemtrails and chemicals in food to pornography and mind control, including monstrous portrayal of aliens in entertainment venues, corporate monopolies, homelessness, false imprisonment. Whatever is harmful to you in mind, body or spirit will meet its end as your society continues to rid your world of everything that is incompatible with life in the Golden Age. All light beings in this universe hold you in highest honor for your unwavering courage, ingenuity, patience and dedicated lightworking. Never have you been alone in your endeavors, all along you have been assisted by universal family members living among you and those in your skies. Until the crews can join you, they're using their ship's technologies to assist in the myriad ways we have recounted in previous messages. Now we say farewell in unconditional love, which always has been and is forevermore.